So many people are confused on what to do about their relationships. Should I leave it? Should I stay in it? Will it get better? Will it get worse? Ba-bom, like this. This is a problem everybody's got. And I want to shed some light on this subject from an energy awareness training point of view. Now, I do a lot of work in relationships and in counseling but from an energetic standpoint. My specialty is energy. It's not counseling or going through issues. I want to identify what's the energy that's taking place, and if it's the energy that we want, we expand it. If it's the energy that we don't want, we're going to neutralize it. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the examination. In energy awareness training, we're dealing with two energies. Out of all the different energies that are around in the world, they're basically two energies, because it follows what I call the law of duality. In this world, we're dealing with opposites. And that's important to recognize, especially in a relationship. We're dealing with opposites. So if there's light, there's darkness. If there's good, there's bad. If there's right, there's wrong, etc. So in understanding what's happening to you in your relationship, underneath the issues of he said, she said, I don't like it when he does this, or I don't like it when he does this, or we don't agree on this, and that's content. Okay, I don't go into content. I go into what's the underlying energy, because the underlying energy in a relationship creates content. I'm going to repeat that. The underlying energy in a relationship creates the content. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, there's two types of energy. There's the energy that we want, which I call high vibrational energy or high frequency energy. So what Tesla said, you've heard the quote from Nikola Tesla, one of the geniuses of the last 20th century, who said, if you really want to understand how life works, then you'll start to view things in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Well, I've taken that quote and made a whole training system out of it, because that was a genius quote. And that quote is a key, what do I want to say? A key code. It's a code for being able to understand this world. Because isn't this world mysterious? Why do things happen the way they have? Why is it we want to go one way and we end up going on the other way? Why is it when we want to go up and we end up going down sometimes? Why is it, especially like in a relationship? You got into this relationship to be happy, right? To share love, to have good times, to have a companion, to share love. And maybe you're doing that, but it's turned into something else. It's turned into a struggle. It's turned into, could be nagging, could be feeling not good enough, or feeling behind the eight ball, and all of this it's the energy that's taking place. So again, let's define our terms before we go into it. High vibration energy, happy, joyous, free, abundant, loving, caring, kind. That's what you want. But we also have to deal in the law of duality, or the law of polarity, with low vibration energy or dark energy, which is anxiety, stress, worry, doubt, fear. So in a relationship that's not working, where there's a lot of stress, this is a clear example of energy working. So I remember before I was energetically aware in relationships, when we came to a point where it was just stuck, where it's just there, we just couldn't move past a certain point. And in the beginning, it would start with 99% high vibrational energy. In the beginning, your first 3 months, you're happy and romance and lovey-dovey and blah, like that, and no suffering, or no downside. And then as time moves on, what happens? The good times start to get lower and lower, and the bad times, of the low vibration energy, starts to get higher and higher and higher. And then you look at it 6 months or a year down the road, and you think, wow, we were so happy in the beginning. What happened? How did we get to this kind of stale or kind of yucky place? And maybe it's time to break up, or go to counseling or something, because something has to happen, because we're just not happy where we are. Well, let's look at that in terms of energy. What's happening is, when you started, you were feeling high vibrational energy. But what you didn't know when you started the relationship is that when you came together romantically, especially sexually, you activated drugs in your body. You activated serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. So when people come together romantically and they bond sexually, whether it's the first night or first week or first month, whatever it is, it's like an injection of drugs, because the body that we live in has an agenda. It has its, no one ever told you this, the body that you live in wants to eat, wants to sleep, wants to have sex, wants to either be in battle or create something or occupy something. And so much of our time is about caring and feeding for the body. But we got to remember that we're not the body, that we're an energetic being inhabiting a physical body. So you can say, huh? If this is the first time you've ever heard about energy, you're going, energetic being inside a physical body. Yeah, because when we're talking about the concepts of energy, energy is unlimited. It's has no beginning, it has no end. It's all possibilities, it's unlimited, etc. That's the energy, and that energy is living in our physical body, which is limited, which has a beginning, which has an ending, which is frail, etc. So this is a great way of understanding how things work. That our bodies are holding our spirit or our souls or our energy. Now, why that's important is that we can lose focus around the energies and just kind of deal with the body's needs to eat, to sleep, to have sex, etc. So in the beginning of your relationship, when you bond together sexually, your capacity to get to know someone intimately, without bias, goes away. So you're on this drug high, this sex high, and it feels great for a while. But if you notice, it doesn't last forever. It doesn't last long. So you have 90 days or 6 months or whatever, and that initial euphoria tends to subside. What is euphoria? It's an energy. It's a high vibration energy, but because it's happy, but it's not long lasting because it was created by the drugs inside your body, the drugs that your body unleashes for you to fit its agenda. And all of our bodies want to procreate. They want to procreate. That's why men typically want to have sex with as many people as possible, or at least that's what the body tries to get us to do, for the reproduction of the species. But in relationships, what happens is that we get in, we meet somebody, we're attracted, we bond, you start a romance, you get involved sexually, and you have a good time for a while. Does this sound familiar? You have a good time for a while, and then what happens? Something shifts. You have a fight. You see a side of them that you haven't seen before. All of a sudden, a new energy comes in, and you're like, wow, this isn't the person I fell in love with, or wow, I never saw this side of her or him before, right? So there's this shift. And then you're trying to chase it. You're trying to think, oh God, we were happy in the beginning. Can't we be happy again? I know that I stayed in numerous relationships with that concept of, gee, we were happy in the beginning, maybe if we can overcome, whatever problems that we have or whatever challenges we have, maybe we can go back to being what we were. Well, here's the thing. You can never go back. You can never go back to what was past, because energy is always changing. Life is always changing. It's always evolving. So what happens is that you've come together, you went through the courtship, quote, honeymoon stage, and now you're dealing with real issues. You've got issues, she's got issues, and the ultimate, hopefully, is that in a relationship, you're there for each other to work out your issues, right? So that you can have a deeper, more lasting, more fulfilling relationship. But unfortunately, unless you're energetically aware, it doesn't work that way, because the issues that you're dealing with, a lot of it's painful. You know, they may trigger issues of abandonment, or being left, or being forgotten, or being ignored, maybe that you had when you were growing up. And that's painful. You know, it reactivates old and triggers old memories. And maybe, you know, they don't like it when you do this, or they don't like it when you do that. And, you know, all of a sudden, what was easy and free and flowing now is kind of tense and anxious. And you don't want to say the wrong, you don't want to piss her off or piss him off. And you can, just by my body language, you can see a big shift of energy. So energy awareness training is all about being able to see the energies that are before you and to recognize how they work before you get involved. Doesn't that make more sense? Wouldn't you want to know about whether the relationship you're going to be in is going to be successful or not before you get involved? Or how about if you're going to move into a place, you want to know if it's the place for you before you move in, or before you're going to make an investment, before you put your money down? Sure you do. Well, the cool thing about energy awareness training is that when you teach yourself how to recognize the energies, you can have a sense of where it's going. So, you know, when you're, you know, I do a lot of work with people who have dating issues. So when someone comes to me, I said, first of all, you want to, in your training, we teach you how to start recognizing the energies that are what I call your energetic operating system. And that is, all of us are walking, talking energy vehicles. We're sending energy and we're receiving them. And all of us have an operating system that we go by to navigate this world. And it's based upon the experiences that we had when we were infants, children, adolescents, teenagers. Some even say even before that. Some even say, believe in past lives, what we're dealing with in a past life. If you don't believe in past lives, then there's a science called epigenetics, which say that trauma and troubling emotions, addictions, etc., can be handed down through your ancestors. Hey, thanks a lot, you guys, for handing that down. You see that a lot of people, you know, who are dealing with alcoholism, that's been handed down. You know, parents are alcoholics, or grandparents, or great-grandparents, etc. I know that my friends that come from a certain Irish country, you know, have to deal with those issues. It's part of the culture. It's inbred to deal with, you know, a certain relationship with alcohol. And if you're not aware that you have these tendencies, you can slip right into what I call energetic traps. Sometimes people come from, you know, broken homes, or they have a parent that's been married 3 or 4 times. Okay, all that stuff goes inside you. All that stuff is part of your operating program. No one ever told us this, but that's what our makeup is. So here we are trying to be happy, trying to live, you know, the happiest life we can, and we don't recognize that we are being influenced by hidden energies.